Hello creatures, welcome to Bound by Words. My name is Madii and I am a freelance editor and fantasy writer. Today we're doing something a little different than normal. We are unboxing the Blood and Honey Collector's Edition box from Fairyloot. This is kind of hefty. I actually brought out one of the normal monthly subscription boxes so that we can compare them in size. This one is quite larger and I'm very excited to get into it. Now, I don't do unboxings often. I actually have never done an unboxing on this channel specifically, but I am a firm believer that the more you read, the better you write. So we do talk about book-related content sometimes on this channel, whether it is reading, evaluating writing styles, sharing books and stuff we love, talking about our TBRs, stuff like that. I think the more you read in the genre you're writing, the more you understand the tropes that are used often and how to make your book different and interesting, but also tailored towards your readers, which is why I really recommend book boxes in general if you're ever looking for a bookish hobby. So I know different people are going to be interested in different sections of this video, so I'm going to have timestamps linked in the description below so that you can jump around and watch just the parts you're interested in. So first we're going to be talking about book boxes and Fairyloot in general. Then we're going to be talking briefly about Blood and Honey and Serpent and Dove, which is the first book, very briefly because I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about them yet. And then we're going to be opening this box, so there's going to be timestamps for all of that in the description below. So first off is Fairyloot and book boxes in general. Now, Fairyloot specifically, I would recommend this is their normal monthly box. At the time I'm filming this and in the US, it is $39 plus shipping, which I think is a pretty fair price for what you get. So in every box, every month, you get a box each month, you get a YA fantasy book. This is specifically just for fantasy, so if this isn't your genre, then you might not be interested. But you get a YA fantasy book with an exclusive cover, sprayed edges, signed, and then 5 to 6 other bookish goodies that are related to other fantasy books, like other YA books. And the thing I love about Fairyloot and book boxes is that whenever you get these other items, so not only do you get a book to read, but whenever you get these other items that are inspired by other books, that then makes you interested in other books to add to your TBR. So I keep my spoiler cards for my Fairyloot boxes for whenever I'm looking for books to read. They also send out a lot of character art, so sometimes I can judge how eager I am to read a book by the character art. So as a writer and as a reader, I get a lot of inspiration from these Fairyloot boxes. Whether you are just a reader or a writer, I personally find a lot of enjoyment in these boxes. They give me inspiration and motivation to write, and they also make it so I have a never-ending list of books in my genre that I want to read. So this is the normal monthly box, and there are a bunch of different types of subscriptions like this. There are also writer-based subscriptions. I know there's one specifically, and I'm blanking on the name, but it is just writing related things. You get writing advice every month, you get different books, and then you get writing related goodies for people who are interested in writing. I personally find more enjoyment off the theme-based boxes because I like fantasy is my favorite genre, and getting myself fantasy books is like getting myself a present. So I know that the writing box has different genres every month. So I tend to stick to the genre specific boxes because I know that I'll find stories that I'm not familiar with that I will enjoy. But there are nearly endless options. There are easily dozens of options in every country for book boxes. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you do a lot of research before you pick your first one. I got single boxes, so you don't always have to sign up for subscriptions. I got my first Fairyloot box as a single box with a single box of Fake Crate, and quality-wise, Fairyloot was like off the charts. The Fake Crate one sort of was a little tacky. Everything was really cheaply made, and the items I got 3 keychains in one box, which I didn't really enjoy. But Fairyloot every month, I feel like I am squealing over the items and the quality. So I've gotten bath bombs and bath salts, I've gotten candles, metal straws, I even got like a wet hair hairbrush that works amazingly. I'll probably use it for the rest of my life. So needless to say, I get excited every month whenever I get my Fairyloot box. So getting this was like such a treat because it is a huge special edition version of Fairyloot. So what these special edition boxes are is they celebrate, I want to say, sequels that come out because that's sort of the vibe I get from the last couple they've done. This is only the 3rd one they've released. But what usually happens is they support, sponsor, or are related to the first book in a series, and whenever it takes off and it gets really popular, they do these collector's edition boxes. So the first book in the series is Serpent and Dove, and that got really popular all over Bookstagram. It was included in the September Fairyloot box from last year, so September 2019. So this year, for September 2020, they did this Blood and Honey box to celebrate the next one that's coming out. Now, they did give the option for purchasing the special edition version of Serpent and Dove with this box for people who weren't subscribed in September. I was really excited about that. I got the Serpent and Dove and the Blood and Honey so that I would have the matching set. Something is metal and rattling in here. And I'm like excited but scared. So I'm going to start opening this while we're talking. I was about to read Serpent and Dove in June. I'll turn this so you can see it. I was going to read it in June whenever they announced this box, and I decided I was going to wait until I had both of them, and then I was going to read through both the series, which is why I said I don't have a lot of insider knowledge about this series quite yet, so I'm not going to recognize some of the character art and maybe some of the stuff that comes with it, but I'm so excited to read and experience it and have these goodies to read along the way. So, oh, something fell out. Oh no! So this is something I love about Fairyloot. They always package things in a way where it's sort of a process to open it. So the books always come in these book sleeves, so they're surprise, like you don't know exactly what they look like. Just when you open the box, you get to see them last or at your own pace. And what fell out was, I assume, a spoiler card. Yeah, it's a spoiler card, and it has that pretty icon that they use to promote the book. I really like that image. I have to say I was a little bit worried that the whole box was going to be like yellow because of this, but it seems to be a lot of red and black, and those are my favorite colors, so I'm really excited. Now, I don't know if I should do the books first or last. I'm thinking last is probably best because they're special edition signed copies, so it's sort of like the pride of the box is the book. So we'll take those out last. This, I know what this is because they had teased it whenever they were talking about the box. This is a blanket. This is probably what I was most excited about. I don't know how many people I've told about this blanket. So I'm going to crack it open. I'm going to see what's on it. I'm really excited it's black. Whenever I said I was worried everything was going to be yellow, I think I was specifically thinking that this blanket was going to be yellow, and yellow is just not like my favorite color. So cracking it open, and it's soft. It's like my favorite blanket texture. Fuzzy but light. I might have to stand up to show you this. So there's a quote on it that I'll have to turn around to read, but I'll show you guys. I hope this is far enough away that you can see. It looks like it is. But here is the blanket, and it's big. I thought it would be like airport blanket size, but it's not. It's nice and big. So it has the author's name on the top, and it says, "What you are now is not what you've always been, nor is it what you always be. You are a snake." And then at the bottom, it says, "Shed your skin if it no longer serves you. Transform into something different, something better." I love that. I love that quote. I love the texture of this. I love the size. The bottom was tangled up, so I don't think you guys got to see the pretty pattern at the bottom. My cats are all freaking out, and they're crawling around me now because I'm taking things out of a box. Okay, so the rest of the stuff isn't as packaged as Fairyloot stuff normally comes. Usually it's like in a bunch of envelopes. So I'm just going to start pulling out things and sharing them. And a candle. I should show you before I read them. But it's a candle. It says La Forest de You, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. So if you know how that's pronounced, please let me know in the comments. I will learn through reading it. It says Blood and Honey Collector's Edition box. It is wild patchouli, distressed leather, and fruits. You want to smell, Fairy? I think it smells good. It reminds me of something that I can't place. It's like a soft, musky smell. But it says Bookish Burns in collaboration with Fairyloot. So Bookish Burns is a good company to check out if you want book-related candles. Another thing I like about book boxes and Fairyloot in general is I find all these companies that do these book-related things, because book-related things aren't as easy to find as some other hobbies. You can't just go into Walmart and buy book-related blankets unless it's a really popular chain like Harry Potter, where there's also movies and stuff like that. So getting boxes like this, I found a lot of companies that I have visited their websites to shop for other things in the future. I want to say in the future, but I guess now we're talking in the past. And this, so I have another one of these, and it's actually shaped very similar, so I'm sure that they were done by the same company. I got it a few months ago, and I have candy in it on my desk. I absolutely love it. So it has a, this is like an airtight seal. Oh, this one's really tight. The other one is not as tight. But it's an airtight seal for, like food. Like if you put cookies and stuff in it, I'm sure that that'll loosen up the more I use it. But this has a little crescent. There you go. It's hard to see with the lights, but it has such a pretty design and a crescent. I love these. I'm kind of excited to have another one. It says, blood is easily given, tears the pain that causes them are not, and it has the author's name too. So the other one I have is We Hunt the Flame, I'm pretty sure, and it's dark blue and it has like Arabian print around it. Things are falling around me. But I love this. I am building a dream bookshelf if any of you are interested. I post most of my updates on Instagram, but I'm looking for bookish ways to decorate this bookshelf whenever it is all done. So we're going to pull out the next thing, and it is in a Fairyloot little envelope. I should open it to you. It is a pen collection. I heard rumors of this. It's not upside down, right? I did hear rumors of this online. Enamel pens exclusively for the Blood and Honey Collector's Edition box. The bottom one said, this world needs a whit less hate and a trifle more love. And the top one says, love makes fools of us all. And they sort of match, like they go together in the bottom there. I love this. I love pins. Fairyloot sent me, I think it was in my first box, which was kind of convenient. They sent me a pin displayer, which if you've seen some of my other YouTube videos at my desk, I actually have it hanging in the wall in the corner. It's like a black, it looks like a flag on a rod to display all my bookish related pins. So I get kind of excited whenever I have things to put up there. So we have 2 things left in this box other than the books, which I want to make sure I open last. The first, and because it's easier to see, is an art print. Now I started hanging these on my wall. This one's kind of damaged, which is a little bit sad. It's hard to see. It's easier to see on this side, but there's a hole through it, probably from one of the pins. Fairyloot is really good about replacing things like this though, so I think I'm just going to contact them. I'm not too worried about it because it's not too bad on the front side, but it is an art print from characters from the book series. I don't know if this is from Serpent and Dove or Blood and Honey or both, because I haven't read them yet, but I do really like this art print, and I do like the colors on them. They're very balanced. I recently started hanging art prints on my wall behind where I read, so it is really exciting to have one that has like different colors. I don't have a lot of purples and blue tones. It's a lot of reds and greens. So the next thing, and this is one of the things I'm most excited about, is the Blood and Honey Major Arcana Tarot deck, and it has the snake on the back. Now, I knew that I was getting this because just like the blanket, it was teased in the box. So they said, hey, we're giving away this box. It's going to have a tarot card deck with 22 cards, and each card has character art from somebody from the series and a blanket. Those were like their huge selling points, and I am very excited. Actually, I'm going to open these and I'm going to flip through them. So if you've read the books, you're going to recognize them more than I will. But I hang these on my wall just like the art prints. The smaller pictures, if you see in any of my other video, are all collectible tarot cards that I've gotten from Fairyloot boxes. It's one of my favorite things to get every month because it's like hard to find stuff like that elsewhere, especially when it comes to art prints. If you guys have any place specifically that you get character art prints, I'm very interested. Please let me know below. So first things first, they are gold gilded. That just makes them better. So I think I'm just going to flip through them all so that if you're interested, you can see them. I have to find a better place to stack these. They're falling over. I like the moons on the top of that. So one of my favorite parts about these character art cards is being able to read the book and actually have like a reference. And on top of that, just having character art cards from books I've read in the past and being able to recognize and say, hey, this is definitely this character, and how close is it to the way that you picture that person in your head, because we all sort of read books and picture characters differently. And sometimes the way we picture characters isn't always the way that the author is intending to describe them. So it's really interesting to see the similarities and differences. I get really excited if I pictured a character similarly, because I know when they make these character art cards, they go through the books and they look up all of the descriptors and they compare them. So the back of the cards have that same snake print that's on the back of the box. I really love that they have their own box because it makes me feel like I won't lose them or scratch them or damage them. So I'm going to tuck those away. And that was the last special item in the box. So now we're going to open the books, the most special, the best part. Now, I don't know which one is Blood and Honey. I was going to try to guess by the size because I know Blood and Honey is a little bit bigger. I think this one is Serpent and Dove. Okay, so their book boxes always say happy reading, and then it has the Fairyloot stamp on the other side. This one's a little bit worn off, but they're just for temporary surprise. Now I keep these black bags, and whenever I can't decide on what book I want to read next off of my TBR, I actually put my books, like my similarly sized books, into these bags, and I randomly pick one, which I thought was a lot of fun. I'm not always in the mood to do that, but if you are, it's upside down, then it is a lot of fun. And this is the Serpent and Dove cover, and I think the most exciting thing about this edition is the silver shimmery edges. So it has the foil cover with, I think it's similar colors as the regular one. I think it's a little bit darker than the original Serpent and Dove cover, and the pages are yellow, which is a nice bright contrast. And there's nothing particularly fancy on the hardback, but I always check just in case. You know, sometimes they sneak stuff like that in there. But let's see the matching Blood and Honey version. So I have been seeing pictures of the Serpent and Dove version everywhere, so I'm very familiar with the way it looks. But let's see how this one looks. I love it. Red, and, like I said, red and black, my favorite colors. So this is no foil on the top. It's just all flat. This is, I think, very similar. Oh, that was an extra little thing. This is the cover. It does have foil, and I lied. So it does have foil, and the pages are shimmery and silver gray instead of gold, which I really like. And this one here is signed. That was like the whole point, I think, of this box, was this special signed edition of the book. But this, I totally forgot that this was a thing that they were doing. Actually, I don't know if I knew that this was a thing they were doing. I knew they were doing this for their October box, but this is an extra chapter to the Blood and Honey book. So, Fairyloot exclusive. Are you excited? She's purring. She loves it too. It's a Fairyloot exclusive chapter. So the only way that you can get or read this is to get this book. And for any of you guys who are familiar with the book and the characters, it's from Reed's point of view, and it's called The Nightmare, if that piques any of your interest. So, I am currently reading Fable, but as soon as I finish that, this series will be next, and I really like the way that these books look together. I like how they go together, the silver, like the silver and the gold, but they're not the same. And then from the reverse side, they go together in sort of a different way. I think that's kind of really neat. So I'm actually filming this clip specifically after the video has already ended. So this isn't quite the end. I had to go back and insert this because I had opened the Serpent and Dove book just to show you that there wasn't anything on the inside. But I didn't open the Blood and the Honey book. And two things. One, the signature page is really pretty. But also, there is art on the reverse side of the dust jacket for Blood and Honey. So the original Serpent and Dove version that you would have gotten in September would also have art on the inside, but for the people who got, like me, who got it afterwards, we don't get the signature or the art. We just get the book and the fancy sprayed pages. So this is my Fairyloot exclusive artwork that was commissioned for Blood and Honey, and I can't believe I didn't check, but I wanted to make sure that I snuck this clip in so that you guys could see it because it's honestly beautiful. So anyway, I want to say a quick thanks to everybody who voted on Instagram. I really want feedback on this video from you guys. Is it something you like? Is it something that was totally boring? Let me know in the comments below. I do want to get more of these boxes in the future. I'm not gonna open my monthly boxes unless a bunch of people are like, I want to see every single box, but I will open my special edition fancy boxes if they come around and you guys are definitely interested in them. If you missed out on voting whether or not you wanted me to open this box and you're disappointed, then make sure you follow me on Instagram because that's where I hold these polls. I also share weekly writing, drafting, publishing related posts on Mondays, as well as a lot of my rating progress, my NaNoWriMo progress, my bookshelf update pictures and stuff like that. So that's really the best place to go for those nitty-gritty details. It's a lot easier to get quick feedback and to do polls since I don't have a community tab yet. So make sure you follow me over there as well as subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you'll get updated whenever I post writing related videos every Monday.